Long before the Desert War, a boy named Harry Chauvel was born in 1865 in the surrounding farm and bushland of the far northeast of New South Wales, Australia. He grew up far from big cities, surrounded by open fields and horses. Life on the land was hard, long days, heat, and responsibility, but young Harry loved the challenge. He learned to ride almost as soon as he could walk, guiding horses across dusty ground and helping manage his father's cattle. Riding taught him patience. Isolation taught him independence. Hard work taught him discipline. As he grew older, he went away to school and later joined local military units, not for glory, but for service. He gained decades of experience in mounted warfare and leadership across Australia and abroad, serving under British commanders. By 1914, when Great Britain entered the war and Australia followed, Chauvel had nearly 30 years of military experience. He would eventually become the first Australian to command a corps, the Desert Mounted Corps, and the first Australian to reach the rank of Lieutenant General. The boy who used to play in wild, open spaces would eventually command an army in one of the harshest climates on Earth. The Ottomans, supported by Germany, built a powerful defensive system stretching from Gaza on the Mediterranean coast to Beersheba on the desert's edge, roughly 30 miles long. The First Battle of Gaza in March 1917 nearly succeeded, but confusion led to a withdrawal just as victory seemed possible. A month later, the Second Battle of Gaza failed outright. The Ottomans were prepared. Machine guns and fortifications shattered Allied frontal assaults. The lesson was clear. Gaza could not be taken by direct attack. When General Sir Edmund Allenby took command, he looked at the problem differently. Instead of smashing into the strongest enemy position again, he asked a different question. What if they crossed the desert and attacked around the edge of the fortified line at Beersheba? The Ottomans believed that the desert was protection enough. Large armies could not cross it unnoticed or survive the water shortage. They were wrong. Chauvel's desert-mounted force assembled quietly east of Gaza near the Wadi Gazeh area, at Shalel, Aslaj, and near Kerlasa. They were out of Ottoman observation, away from Gaza, where the upcoming attack was expected, close enough for a rapid desert march. Instead of advancing west to east from Gaza, they made a wide sweep through the desert, from their staging areas to around the Ottoman flank at Beersheba. It meant longer marches, night movement, severe water risk, but it achieved operational surprise. Chauvel's system rested on three principles. Speed. Mounted troops were for maneuver, not ceremonial charges. Logistics discipline. Water was treated like ammunition. Plans were built around supply limits. Information. Reconnaissance came before commitment. Blind assaults were avoided. This reduced waste of time, strength, and lives. The Battle of Beersheba is remembered for its charge. But the charge was not the plan. The real issue was water. Chauvel's forces were nearing the limit of their endurance. If Beersheba's wells were not secured that day, the mounted troops would have to withdraw, and the entire operation, and perhaps his corps, would collapse. Infantry and artillery attacks did not break through quickly enough. Delay meant failure. Withdrawal meant disaster. So Chauvel approved a mounted assault, not out of tradition, but necessity. At dusk on October 31, 1917, beneath a furnace-red sky over the desert sands of Beersheba, the Australian light horse lowered their bayonets and rode forward. Across open ground they galloped into rifle fire and artillery smoke, chasing not glory, but water. Ottoman defenses were not prepared for a direct mounted rush at that hour. The timing was precise. The objective was limited. The gamble worked. The town fell before night. The wells were secured. The fortified line was turned. The charge was desperate, but it was a calculated desperation. Chauvel's methods were not universal. They worked because they were designed specifically for this battle in the desert. It proved that intelligent command could still prevail under modern conditions. Harry Chauvel did not defeat the Ottomans through brute force. He defeated scarcity, distance, time. In a war often remembered for its massive death counts, he stands apart, not as a reckless hero, but as a commander who learned to fight the battlefield he was given. In the Middle East, he did not just fight the enemy, he fought the desert, and he won.